Thank you so much for joining us here on Join Us Prime. Now, Chairman of Parliament Ad Hoc Committee probing the leaked tape allegedly scheming to remove the IGP, Samuel Atachie, has revealed a new tape has emerged from their sources on the issue. According to Mr. Atachie, the committee, after scrutinizing the 4 witnesses, including Bugri Nabo, COP Alex Mensah, Superintendent Eric JB, and Superintendent George Asari, will now thoroughly examine any related material to provide a balanced report. He has, however, indicated that the committee going forward will consider an in-camera hearing while inviting any person of interest to the matter.
That the first audio is not authentic in terms of some aspects, but they admitted that some of them were authentic. Now, you've had the benefit of a tape on the assumption that it's authentic. The members of the committee will have to internalize that tape, and it is also transcribed, and look at it. And that will give us the ideas as to what to do. First of all, do we bring all the stakeholders together with their lawyers for cross-examination and cross-firing to take place, whilst we listen attentively, and later when they finish, then we'll have our turn. And then, are there matters which should not come into the public domain because of national security implications? So we'll do long in-house or in-camera hearing, and then we make some good sense of it. So this is how we are going to go. We'll be guided strongly by the fact that this is not a simple exercise, and it's not everything that should be fed to the general public. It will have implications for the nation.
All right. Again, we have indication that there's a petition, or there are petitions before the committee by some senior police officers who are following proceedings, and they have some information. In court would have said they want to be an amicus to the case before the committee. Have you received these petitions? How is the committee?
Yes, whilst we were sitting, the petitions were brought to us, so we've not even read them. We've not perused the petitions. But trust us as a committee that there's nothing of consequence that will brush it aside. It's going to be a very comprehensive interrogation. So if people want to aid us to do our fact-finding, we will not block them. We've also just seen that some police officers have even taken the IGP to court in relation to their promotion. So I've instructed that they should fetch the writ so that we know the content of what is pending in court and the rest of it.
So when do you expect the committee to meet again?
We will inform you very soon, because we are partners, We will inform you very soon. But first of all, the members are doing some serious reading of what is supposed to be the authentic tape. And that will inform our next, activity. What material is different from what we've used. And then we'll do what we call the proper analysis of the new tape, so-called. And that will inform what to do next. If your name is on the tape and your role is significant in we doing the proper fact-finding, it's automatic you have to appear before the committee. But the issue for determination with the members will all decide is, do we do an obvious interrogation like the one we are doing on camera, or we'll do in camera because of national security consideration? We will let you know everything, because it's not going to be a fetish of an investigation that the press is blocked. When we plead with the press that they should excuse us because of the matters of national security concerns, you understand us. It's not everything which is for the public consumption. And then we'll do what is needful.
What's the source of this new picture?
Well, it's come to us. You see, we might not divulge our sources, because then you block people from giving us information. But we have a tape, which is supposed to be the comprehensive tape. We'll look at it. If you told the world that it was Kwesi Mensah who brought me the tape, we might not get the next tape, or the final tape, or whatever it is, or this information or that information.
Now, Attorney General and Minister for Justice Govt Iwodami says government will ensure customers of defunct Menzgold get justice. The Attorney General's office only last week filed fresh criminal charges against owner of the company, Achimhema Mensah, and 2 other persons. Speaking at the 40th Cambridge International Symposium on Economic Crime, The Attorney General assured that his office has conducted a thorough investigation into the matter and is hopeful of the prosecution will be successful.
Indeed, last year, I spoke at this symposium about a phenomenon that had afflicted the financial sector of Ghana between 2018 and 2020. That is the emergence of many unlicensed financial entities operating illegally. The leaders of such entities often live a lavish lifestyle on the proceeds of their illicit activities. I indicated that prominent among such entities was an amorphous organization operating a microfinance institution under the guise of, and guess what, gold trading, legally using the name of a bank. It called itself Menzgold and metamorphosed into a number of names before eventually taking up the name Menzgold. It dealt in the purchase and deposit of gold collectibles from the public and issued contracts with guaranteed returns to clients without a license from the relevant authorities. The modus operandi of that company highlighted some of the major causes for the success of such process. And these are ignorance, vulnerability, and greed of the victims. The vulnerability and ignorance of thousands of otherwise hardworking Ghanaians was the oxygen for the operations of the company, as we often witness in the case of many Ponzi schemes around the world. People paid their life savings to the suspects in the case, resulting in losses worth millions of dollars, and in some cases, loss of lives. The misery and distress caused to many homes nearly unleashed a social crisis as riots and demonstrations broke out in the streets of Accra and other parts of the country. In reality, people lost their homes and some marriages even broke up as a result of the Menzgold phenomenon. I am happy to state that after painstaking investigations, criminal prosecutions has commenced against the perpetrators. And at least by the grace of God, justice will be served to victims of those dastardly acts.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General says the government will continue to go after people who engage in economic crimes and insider trading, citing the case of the former PPA boss, Achimhema Boateng, who was implicated in an alleged contract for sale.
Financial Management Act 2016 at 921 enshrines a body of laws to regulate the financial management of the public sector within the macroeconomic and fiscal framework and defines the responsibilities of persons entrusted with the management and control of public funds, as well as the accounting and audit of public funds. Indeed, the question to ask is, have this set of laws been foolproof for wrongdoing? And the answer, in my view, is a resounding no. Indeed, it is the case that wrongdoers will always find a way. They will constantly devise artful means of evading the long arm of the law. In spite of these protective measures, corrupt activities occur at every stage in the procurement process. This unquestionably have a significant negative effect on the economy and harm the development of the society. Insider trading is just one of many unethical behaviors. Some officials responsible for procurement activities in various public institutions abuse their trust by engaging in what is popularly known as behind-the-scenes business with contractors and suppliers. The unique position they occupy then gives them access to insider information which they unethically convey to contractors or suppliers to hand an unfair advantage to them over their competitors in a bidding process. The detection of false or inconsistent claims by contractors is often hampered by the illicit protection extended by public procurement officers who have the mandate to detect and revise them. The most chilling and perhaps shocking case of insider dealing was witnessed when a former head of the procurement authority was implicated in what was notoriously described as the contract for sale phenomenon. As the head of the public procurement authority, he was alleged to have established a company in which he held majority shares and which also actively bid for government contracts. This company was alleged to usually win the contract and which were subsequently sold to other contractors at a higher price.
Vice Chairman of Parliament Committee on Finance and MP for Kaikwe Central, Patrick Iyawuama, is advising the minority to tread cautiously with its actions against the central bank. Now, the minority is currently in court with the police over a disputed route for a demonstration against the governors of the Bank of Ghana for posing losses that they say has affected livelihoods in the country. They are therefore demanding their resignation. But the Okaikwe Central MP said although the approach to publicly demonstrate against them may be justified and lawful, it portends dire economic consequences on the economy at a time the external debt restructuring negotiation is still ongoing.
Well, this is not the first time a group or a body is embarking on a demonstration that the police has altered their routes. It's not the first time. It's not as if the Bank of Ghana is saying we are not going to even receive your petition. It's the content of your petition that is the most important. Where you want to deliver it, sometimes I don't believe it's very important. You want to organize a protest, you want to present a petition. Sometimes groups want to petition Parliament. They come to the main street, just opposite the conference center, and the leadership are allowed to bring the petition to the leadership. They receive it the forecourt of Parliament. It happens. Even in Jubilee House, they send people out there to receive it. It's a matter of discretion by the security to at least ensure that the peace around an institution of the central bank is guaranteed. It's very important. Matters like this also can affect a lot of things around the bank. Central banks work with confidence, and if internationally issues such as this are seen to be affecting the confidence, it can also affect the entire economy. Like I said, we are trying to rebuild an economy. We've gone through a lot of challenges, and a lot of measures have been put in place. We are still negotiating our external debt. You understand? So we have to be very careful with some of these things.
So would you call on your colleagues to reconsider their decision?
Well, I'll advise them to send their petition to wherever they think can be received, and the request within the petition is what they must follow through.
Now, the minority in Parliament have had to reschedule their protest to demand the resignation of the Governor of Bank of Ghana, Ernest Addison, and his two deputies. This followed the decision of an Accra High Court to adjourn its ruling on the preliminary objections filed by their lawyers. The objection is in response to an injunction process filed by the Ghana Police Service. My colleague Richard Kojonyako was in court and has details of the proceedings.
Two preliminary objections were raised by lawyers for the minority and the civil society group. Eduji Tamaklo led the charge. He shut down the police motion and called it incompetent. He says that they have not properly invoked the jurisdiction of the courts. After listening to the various arguments by the minority and the Ghana Police Service, the judge called them to his chamber. Mahama Yarga explains what happened after the judge called them.
Eduji, who led our team, raised very serious legal issues. The police have been doing the wrong thing for a very long time. It is only today that Eduji drew the attention of the court to the fact that the police have been doing the wrong thing in terms of the mechanisms that they have always tried to use to stop demonstrators from carrying out their demonstrations. And as you saw, arguments were made for and against our position. The judge asked us to see him in camera. When we went in, he said that the legal issues that were raised by our side were very serious legal issues. They've never really been canvassed before any court before. And we had referred to several authorities. And he, as a judge, feels that he needs to take a more serious look at the arguments that were made in court today. And given the fact that we just raised those legal issues, he needs a little time to give a ruling, a reasoned ruling, a written reasoned ruling on the matter. So he pleaded with us to give him time. We haggled over the time, and finally we agreed on Friday. So he says that we should hold on so that on Friday he will give a ruling on the legal issues that we ourselves have raised in court regarding the competence of the police to come via the mechanisms and the route that they have come to court.
So does it mean mean that the protests by the minority and the civil society will not come off as advertised? Mahama Yarga has some answers.
So as law-abiding citizens, we don't want to sidestep the courts, because we will need them to protect us also one day. So the courts have not stopped us from demonstrating. Yes. And the courts have not changed the route of the demonstration. And we have no intention to change the route of the demonstration. Indeed, the arguments on the route hasn't even happened yet in court. It is just our pointing out that the police is incompetent in the way that they have come to court. So we are pleading with our supporters and those who have prepared themselves for this march to remain prepared, because this march will happen. It will happen on the same route. It is only the date that will change after the court has given a ruling. So on Friday, we will be back here in court. We will listen to the ruling of the court on the preliminary matter. We will go into the substantive matter of whether or not the Bank of Ghana premise is a security zone, whether or not, the routes that we have chosen cannot be used by us, and then whether or not we are the ones causing the coup in this country. All those arguments will be heard on Friday after the ruling on the preliminary matters and a decision taken by the court, and then we will announce the specific date of the demonstration. What they have done is just to postpone their problems. They have just postponed their problems. As for the problem of we demonstrating their inefficiency, incapacity, how they have destroyed the Central Bank of Ghana and the financial system of the country, we will demonstrate, and we will demonstrate on that route that we have announced to the public.
You have also been speaking with the minority leader, KCL Atoforsen, on the way forward.
Demonstration will happen in due course. The court has asked us to wait for 1 week, and we are waiting for the court ruling on the matter on Friday. Our supporters should remain ready, and the demonstration will certainly happen with a new date. Simple.
Reporting for Joy News, my name is Richard Kwejenyako.
Now, demands to remove decommissioned toll booths from the nation's highways are escalating, fueled by the tragic death of one individual on the scene, while 4 others fight for their lives at the Tema General Hospital. This individual sustained injuries in 2 separate accidents that occurred at the Accra Toll Plaza on the Accra-Tema Motorway this past Sunday. In the following report, eyewitnesses recount a minute-by-minute chronicle of this harrowing incident.
This is the state of the toll booth on the Accra-Tema stretch of the motorway after a fuel tanker plunged into it at around 5 o'clock a.m. Sunday. The driver's mate died on the spot and the driver critically injured. The next day, Monday, 3 persons on board this truck also suffered life-threatening injuries when their truck crashed into this pillar. Some eyewitnesses recount the incident.
Yesterday, like 5 o'clock a.m., we dey car inside where we hear them, where we come out. Where we come out now, we see this one is trailer, tanker. The tanker we get the accident. We go come out the driver. They made the die. So around 10 to 11, and we dey inside too, and we hear another bang. Where we come out now, you see this car to get some accident. The people was trained inside, so we come away. We come out 2. We put them car. We them send him to hospital. About the driver, in leg, where we call fire service, where we can't help us, where we come out them. They send them to hospital.
So right now, so of this toll booth is not working. Always accident. Me right now, I'm travel. What they call him? Mali, Niger, Abidjan. Anywhere, I'll go there. But this accident, I've not seen before. But Ghana here alone. Always. This toll booth, Tema toll booth, what they call Accra, Weja, what they call Insamam Road. The same thing. I meet accident.
These crashes are not limited to just the Accra Toll Plaza. Eyewitnesses claim between January and August this year, over 20 people have died in a similar way at the Tema toll booth.
Yes, January to August, what I've seen, I've actually witnessed over, I may say 20 deaths, what I've seen. Yes, and it normally occurs at night, because normally there is no toll light on the toll booth at night. And then also, you know, especially those who are new on the road. And when we are driving along, you know, the Flower Accra road, the marginal lines in between the road that you should follow, some of them come and face to the walls of the toll. So without you being new, you go on the road, you wouldn't even know you are heading towards a wall. Since there is no light or there's no any indication that, okay, you are approaching danger zone, or maybe there's no any reflector, nothing to show that there is an empty toll ahead. By the time you realize, you have already driven into the toll booth.
This has angered many motorists and residents who are demanding the total removal of the commissioned toll booth from the country's highways.
Yesterday I was here and my auntie called me, so I should come and see something. Accident happened at Motorway. I was running, come and see. It's very, very, very bad. Sad. Some people are dying just like that. So we beg the Kufado, we beg Mr. Makwata, we beg them, they should come and remove the room so that the driver will take time and go. They are on speed, so if the toll booth are not there, they will come and go and pass free. But because of the room, they are losing control. So innocent person are dying. Stomach hurts here. Everything is the stomach was flowing like this. You can't see. That you can't see. Very sad.
How this toll booth they kill human being for years. You know, if they don't feed the repair, they will come clear for us. Because especially the Achimhema toll booth, every day we know come out dead body, no be 4 or 5. But today as you are here, we don't fit talk, but you are here. There are no say you go out. So we beg government of Ghana, they should come and repair the toll booth, or they go clear for us.
Visibility at these toll booths at night is low, and there are no warning signs. Until these toll booths are either put to good use or removed, drivers will have to exercise a lot of caution when approaching any of these booths anywhere in the country. Carlos Caloni's report, Joy News.
Now, the National Labour Commission has issued a directive to the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana to call off its strike. This is after the Ministry of Finance fulfilled its commitment to credit the account of members with their long-awaited allowances. Now, CITAC had been out of the classroom for more than 4 weeks because of the non-payment of the allowances, putting the education of teacher trainees in limbo. CITAC is now expected to comply with the directive and immediately return to the classroom now that the accounts have been credited. Now, President of CITAC, Prince Achimhema, joins me via Zoom. Hi, Prince. So, I want to know, what is the status of your strike as we speak now?
Yeah, good evening, my brother. And a couple of minutes ago, we concluded our meeting at NEC level, having collated results of the voting among members across the 46 public colleges of education to determine the fate of the action. You'll recall that CITAC had said that we are adopting the bottom-up approach. We wanted all our members to be involved in the decision-making process, even though the National Labour Commission had ruled. And we have been doing that. So at the end of the voting, we go by majority, even though we may not have agreed with the totality of the ruling of the NLC. As a law-abiding institution or association, we wish to, comply so that we'll go back to work, and then we would engage for the other outstanding issues to be resolved. On the basis of that, tomorrow we'll officially come out with a communique, and we'll share with the media where the responsibility to ensure compliance will now be shifted onto the National Labour Commission. In that communique, we anticipate to give our members up to Thursday because people are in their villages. My good self, I'm at my cocoa farm, far away from my station. It will take me couple of hours or days to be able to go back to my station. So by Thursday, hopefully we should all be able to touch base on our stations and then resume work. So that's where we are.
All right. So if you were going to back down, why didn't you do that a month ago? Why didn't you do that?
Oh, yeah, we go on strike to achieve results. We said we wanted implementation of the of the conditions of service. Now, conditions of service have been implemented, but for the strike, they wouldn't have done that. We wanted leave. The National Labour Commission, by what we have done, has given the people directives with timelines when to grant the leave to the tutors and all that. So we think that fairly we have achieved, enough, and then we have to engage, go back to teach our students so that we'll be able to engage to see to the compliance of the rest of the items.
Some believe that the refusal to pay your August salary is actually the reason why you have made this U-turn. What do you make to such school of thought?
Their thoughts. They decided not to pay our salary. The directives came out. So around the time salaries had not been paid, if we were going to be jittery, that was the time we'd have called off. We stood our grounds. We knew what we wanted for. Up to a point where at the last meeting with the NLC, they came with timelines as to when they were going to comply. Because what they had said initially was blanket, in our opinion, where there were no timelines and it would be difficult to catch them. So with the timelines provided, we think that it's fair to go back and some of the things, they are processes, so that we all monitor how they comply, how we all feed into the processes to ensure that collectively, we move on.
We are grateful for your time. We'll take a break. We'll return with more. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Now, Ghana's once thriving forests remain under relentless siege as illegal mining operations persistently pillage the country's natural resources. Despite assurances from President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo that the situation is under control, the ongoing devastation of Ghana's forests, widespread pollution of rivers and water bodies, and the apparent lack of resolution continue to cast a shadow over the nation. Here are excerpts of our latest Hotline documentary, Forest and the Sea, produced by Erastus Asaridanko.
The once green Apamprama Forest Reserve has been largely reduced to a wasteland. Valuable tree and animal species are all gone.
Maybe this is the only green that is still active, but valuable trees, the flora and fauna, animals, the river Oda, which lies dirty here, they are all gone.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has, through the agency of the Forestry Commission, with the assistance of the military, made the effort to cordon off all 294 sites of forest reserves in the country and rid them of illegal mining.
So while the president was giving this assurance, illegal miners were pillaging the Apamprama Forest Reserve.
Madam Emilia.
This miner tells us he works for one Emilia, who we later learned is a politician. They are not working today because a military swoop on the area has affected them. Their equipment have been seized. We found her equipment parked inside Kobro town. The youth are not happy. Some of them have had their machines bent in another military operation.
When the soldiers came, they met one of our excavators on the road and they bent it. These equipment belong to Mama Emilia's group. She's a former women's organizer for MPP at Jacobo. We don't know why they did not burn her equipment.
These excavators are part of 16 equipment bent by personnel from the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces in Kumasi on 7th June 2023. This move is part of an operation by the Forestry Commission to raid the Apamprama Forest Reserve of illegal miners to pave the way for a pilot reclamation exercise. Brigadier General Ajeman Prempe is the general officer commanding the Central Command. His reaction when he first saw the degradation caused the Apamprama Forest Reserve by irresponsible miners.
I felt shocked. I felt worried. I felt people were heartless. I felt they were not Ghanaian. And I just say that these are people that we need to ensure that they don't come around here anymore. Because felt that generations behind have been robbed of something great.
16 excavators have been bent under his watch and a number of excavators seized and parked at the Central Command 4th Battalion grounds in Kumasi.
Once you find it in the forest, we burn. Once you find it along the riverside, we burn. Once you find it an area that is grey, where the individual has been given the rights to mine, we collect the machines and bring them to the command headquarters for you to come and justify with your documents if indeed you have the right to mine in the area. So the forest is a no-go, and it has been defined that it is an illegal area for anybody to mine.
Brigadier General Ajiman speaks of his resolve to protect what remains of the Apamprama Forest Reserve.
When we look at the environmental sustainability cycle, once you are destroying more than you can replant or you can build, it means that it is not sustainable.
Chiefs and residents of Achimhema near Osino in the Fantiakwa South District of the Eastern Region have given the District Assembly, Police and the Regional Coordinating Council 10 days to drive out illegal miners who are destroying their water bodies and farmlands.
The traditional authority in Achim say the activities of illegal miners in the area have caused grave damage to water bodies and destroyed buffer zones. Addressing the media at the Akwasidai Festival, Achimhema Hini Osaberima Merikisi Okasum Aporiata said if the government fails to eradicate the illegal mining menace in the area, the community will have a showdown with illegal miners to protect their properties and livelihoods.
We cannot continue to sit down and get these things continually destroyed. We know you've done your best, but your best is not your best. We want to call on you and the regional administration to wake up. Don't hold back the anger of my people anymore. Anytime I come, they complain and I said, oh, you wait. Let us follow the due process of the law. And these people are taking advantage of us. Enough is enough. From tomorrow, start telling them, if you don't have a paper from water resources or from the office of the president that the president has thrown away his directive, so you can go and destroy my water bodies, you go away.
Some residents blame authorities for the continuous damage of their lands.
The illegal miners are released whenever the police take them to court. Illegal miners have taken over the farms and are destroying the crops.
It is heartbreaking to see our water bodies and lands destroyed. I am pleading with the government and local authorities to help protect our water bodies.
Now, mining consultant Dr. Solomon Owusu believes the Minerals Commission has failed in discharging its duties.
Minerals Commission, yes, per our regulations, they are the regulators of all mining activities in Ghana. That is right. But the point is, as my sister Sewa said, it predates that interministerial committee. So what were they doing at the Minerals Commission that they couldn't solve the problem such that the president could initiate that interministerial committee process to address the problem? As at now, the interministerial committee is no more, right? The president dissolved it in 2020 or 2021 or so. Between 2021 and 2023, 2 years, what has the Mineral Commission done to address the problem? So like I said, we need to decentralize the registration process. Some of the chiefs, they can be part of the process, but they will not take the decision. They will be part of giving the lands to the people because now they give the lands. That's why they are involved, right? So if they are part of it, fine. But the technical aspect should be championed by the Minerals Commission. And the Minerals Commission should engage other technical people with fresh ideas to help them address the problem. Because it is clear that we've given them the opportunity to solve the problem, and they have failed. The Interministerial Committee has failed. This government has failed. And we are looking forward for a change in the direction that they are veering towards.
The chiefs and people of Bay Traditional Area gives President Akufo-Addo a 90-day ultimatum to set up an independent body to investigate the alleged police killing of 2 people in a community in the Volta region. Addressing a press conference in Hohoe on behalf of the Bay Traditional Council and Bay Paramount Chief, Togbeka Gabusu VII, the Divisional Chief of Bay Wigbe, Togbe Ke, gave President Akufo-Addo the ultimatum to set up an independent body to investigate the alleged police killings of 2 people during a clash last week. Now, according to the police, the disturbance started after a police patrol vehicle was involved in an accident with a motorbike rider. Now, the rider sustained injuries. Some members of the community became angry and set the police vehicle on fire.
The call for an independent commission of inquiry comes on the heels of a distressing incident that unfolded between the police force and the residents of Bigudenu in the Hohoe municipality. This unfortunate confrontation, according to residents, resulted in the untimely deaths of 2, sending shockwaves through the B state and igniting a demand for justice. Divisional Chief of Bigudenu, Togbe the 12th read the press release on behalf of the Paramount Chief of B Traditional Area, Togbeka Gabusu VII.
On behalf of the Green States and in my own right, is calling on the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to immediately and as a matter of urgency to set up an independent committee of inquiry to investigate and report on the findings as far as past and current events of police brutalities and killings of innocent citizens in the Green State are concerned.
Management of Akenten Apia University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development is considering measures to control excesses in the celebration of Hall Weeks. This follows the death of Prosper Owusu, a level 300 student who suffered severe burns during a hall procession event at the school. Now, a committee has been constituted to investigate the incident and make recommendations to avert reoccurrence.
This information has reached management, and management has swiftly begun investigations to unravel all the issues that surrounds the incident. Management assures the public that it will keep it updated as and when it gets further details about all that happened. So for now, that is what is happening. Management has already called on the family of the deceased, and every how that management can support in the burial of the late Prosper Owusu is being taken care of by management.
The committee is expected to put in measures to avert future occurrence of such incidents.
So yes, this is a sad incident, and we are trying as much as possible to find out what actually happened so that going forward we put in place measures to forestall its repeat. The team that is working on it will make recommendations based on what they find out in the course of the investigation. So such decisions will be the end result of the investigations that we are doing. So yes, some decisions will come that will safeguard the university from experiences such an incident again in the university.
So behind me is the Opokuwari Hall, where Prosper Owusu, the supposed chief priest of the hall, came across his untimely death during the hall's procession. Prosper's regalia is said to have caught fire, leading to his untimely death. As it stands, management of the university says they have begun their preliminary investigation into the matter. Reporting for Joy News, my name is Nana Dankwa Kumasi.
Quite unfortunate incident there. But we'll take a short break. We'll come back with Showbiz. Stay. Welcome back. This is Showbiz with me, Becky Bex.
Oh, yeah. Hello to you.
Yeah.
How was your weekend, Carlos?
Weekend was great. Weekend was actually great.
What did you do?
I prepared some banku and fetridechi.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Well, I was at Patorankin's album listening. It was an exclusive listening, which happened in Accra. There was, a few industry players. We had quite a wonderful time. Those of you who were not there, exclusive sneak peek of what happened at the album listening.
Always the world's best. That's one, undoubtedly. I repeat, he's always the world's best. And number two, I like that he fuses a lot of Ghanaian musicians with his music. A lot of features. Track number 3, Menkaidin, but I know it's track number 3. And I told myself that I'll go home and listen to it again when it comes out in about a couple of days. But and see, that song with Philippa, it's unfortunate that I didn't pay attention to it because he but I feel beats no. What track number is this? I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna say fine, I'll find it. Yes. The world best is the world best. He's always good at it and he keeps winning. So for me, Charlie is the bomb.
It's a vibe. I think that's one word I can use to describe the album. It's lovely, I love it, and I've always been a fan of Patoranking. So we're out here to support. It's Ghana, it's African music as well. So we're just here to support. Yeah.
Shout out to Pato is incredibly talented, and I can't wait to I love listening to albums by myself. I don't want to listen to it with all of you guys. It's cool listening to it with all of you guys. We can jam, but he has a lot of substance and musicality, so I can't wait to go and listen to it by myself, aside from you guys. But there was a lot of quality that was clear.
It's an exciting and interesting album. I think the album builds from track 1 to my favorites are the high life inspired tracks. Very, 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 very unique, very rich. So and the last one, what a way to end the album. I love it. I love World Best Album, Charlie. It's a big album.
World Best Album. Tell me about how much work went into this album, putting it together.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There was a lot, but at the end of the day, it was fun. To be honest with you, I enjoyed every process, from the production to recording to everything. It was all fun, and I don't know, for some funny reason, when you're making a project, you're not under pressure. That was the vibe I was on.
How is working with, first of all, Ludacris like, for you?
No, I want to say big shout out to Luda's team. We had a camp in Ghana and they invited me, so we did a song, and after the whole recording, I told them I'm working on a project, and they said, oh yeah, let's listen to what you're working on, and I played the whole project, and they love Miracle Baby, and I said, really? They said, Pato, this is the song. I said, okay, so I want Luda on it, and they said, yeah, it's done, consider it done.
Just like why World Best?
That's what my friends call me, so I am who they say I am.
So World Best Album will be out tomorrow. Go stream it and support Patoranking. That'll be all for Showbiz this evening. Sure. Also, that'll be all for the news. Yep. Please join us tomorrow for more news.